Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Israel. This is Warhammer 40,000, a rogue trader with both the Void Shadows and Lex Imperialis DLCs active. So, cleaned up your Act 5, have a navigator, where hey. Next stop, the Astropathic Station, because somebody has been screaming insanity into the void, and I rather want to know why. There's some commotion on the officer's deck. The lady navigator is left, of course, and is currently in the wardroom, where uninitiated crew members are shunning her in terror. Okay, yeah, that's not uncommon response to somebody who can kill you with a glance. Oh, and is a psyker, sort of, and is also a mutant, very definitely. Let's go find out what's happening with her ladyship. Right. Ah, hello.
Lord Captain, my apologies. I did not notice your entrance.
Right. It pleases me to see you adjusting to life aboard ship. Or do I call the book? Yes, let's call the book.
Oh, this. I found this fascinating read on one of the shelves, and I must say, it has caught my eye. Its every chapter is written in verse. I find it so beautiful and enrapturing.
Ah, she's got a taste for poetry and literature, so noted.
Urak 5 had a vast archive of its own, of course. Although most of the works within had to do with scholarly disciplines of some sort or another. Only in my sparse moments of respite was I allowed to escape into the pages of more embellished works.
I see, and are you well?
One should not underestimate the navigators of House Orselio, Lord Captain. Like a shawl of pale smoke, a faint malaise hangs upon my shoulders, but it will not be the slightest hindrance to my duty to humanity, and my duty to you.
Excellent, I'm glad to hear it. I hope you've had ample time to calm yourself and your powers.
There are people on this ship who are far more impulsive and dangerous to others, and far less devoted to the God Emperor than a herald of the Navis nobility.
Ouch.
But I did not need your words to see the shades of umber unease that whirl around your subjects whenever I am near. Were I not acquainted with such a reaction, I could have found their behavior and your question just now insulting.
Or you could not, because you did just go through a fairly major trauma episode and, well, you are my only navigator. Well, that just leaves asking about the valet.
No, it is not that at all, Lord Captain. It is just that Uwe is quite capable of carrying out his duties by himself. He is well accustomed to my whims and preferences.
And it's nice to have a consistent supply of red paint, I suppose. Okay. It is surprising that Casper is going to be one who's used to how she looks, which is reasonable. Considering that Voidborn have a similar problem, there's a novel Bloodlines, I think it is, which relates how a crew of Voidborn landed on an Imperial hive world, and the locals promptly saw them and lynched them, thinking they were mutants. The Imperium's a fun place.
Lord Captain, would you kindly explain to me why you are pestering me with these questions? Inquiring about my mood and my needs, showing an interest in the books I am enjoying? You are behaving as if you possessed a shred of fellow feeling for one such as I.
Well, yes, and on a purely practical level, I repeat, you are the only navigator in this system that I can lay hands on, so without you I'm kinda hosed. If you're off your game, we're really hosed, as in demons ripping us apart in the warp hosed.
I beg your pardon, Lord Captain. That was no way for a navigator to conduct herself.
You have nothing to apologise for. Human emotions are natural, be they good or bad.
Please forgive me. I cannot even understand myself right now. Your words and attention have reminded me of life on the station, of Theobald and Felek. I do not understand. They were merely the keepers of Urak 5. So, why do memories of those two make me feel a strange heaviness here?
Because they were your father figures, whether you realized it or not.
At the same time, I find myself overwhelmed with new excitement and anticipation. At last, I have set foot outside my familiar walls and into a world that I have only seen before in the pages of books. Your ship alone is a treasure trove of remarkable artifacts and curiosities. And just imagine the things that await beyond, but my delight must seem childish to you, surely. In your heart, you must be finding all this quite amusing.
Yes. I understand what you're going through. Yes, let's give her some sympathy.
Indeed. I did not know. That is to say, I could not have known, as it is the first time we are speaking in a circumstance so private. My word, when I found this place, it was so full of officers. Why did they all leave?
Perhaps that, they did not wish to disturb you. No, she knows it. I do not tolerate idlers on this ship, and my officers know it well, despite the fact that they only met me 3 days ago. Yeah, let's go with the nice option.
Or because my presence offends them. Then I must take my leave as well. I am due to inspect the Sanctum Navis after the communion ritual and prepare the chamber for the upcoming warp jump. Thank you for your company.
I see. Yoink. Okay, and... Right. And that appears to be that. Nothing to interact with here. Alright, so that little conversational etude is done. Back to the bridge and back to the business of finding out just what's gone wrong with the astropaths. Right. There's Abelard. And there's the map. So, Rykad's system. Right, astropathic station. Members of a sacred cult operating aboard the ship have requested an audience. They wish to present gifts and introduce them to the new captain. Who are... What sacred cult? They call themselves the Bloodstained Web. Lady Theodora held them in high regard. Lady Theodora's judgment is open to question, given recent circumstances, and looked favourably upon their activities. Okay, well, I shall receive them. Thank you, Vigdis, thank you. How bad could it be, really? Ah! It's a death cult. Oh. Do you have any idea? I suppose the carpet is red. Okay, it's not quite the right shade of red, but they're an interesting bunch. Did anyone happen to tell me I had a death cult operating? Oh, I suppose technically Vigdis did just tell me that I had a death cult operating aboard my ship. Oh, well. I see. Those on the deck watching oars, the final figure moves gracefully into a ceremonial pose. Some of them are excited and some of them are just flatly terrified. I suppose that depends on your attitude to needing to clean the carpets again.
The Undying Emperor commanded us to spin a web of blood around his children, And we obeyed. We obey still.
Hi.
Domin von Valancius, death has whispered your name. We disown Domin Theodora. We renounce our oath to her.
Okay, is this good, bad, or am I about to get shanked?
And now we give the gift of our blood to you. It is the gift of death. Death has whispered your name. The followers of the tenets of the web swear fealty to their new overlord and offer proof of their devotion.
Go on.
We give you a blade, the silent verdict. The Undying One has chosen you to wield this instrument of death. We give you one of our own, Kibella. She will be your shield and shadow. And we give you the blood of these traitors. The tenets of the web will purify their souls.
I see. Yes, these devoted holy assassins of the Imperium have turned death into a form of worship of the Emperor. However, I will also note that more than one of these cults, far from being loyal, has quietly wandered off the path and, you know, gone full cornate. But these guys still seem to be on the right side of orthodoxy so far. Right, so examine the cultists. All Voidborn, acrobatic, spikes, and spikes. Oh, and of course, ritual scarification. And the captives. Diligently and regularly reopened to prevent healing. So, judge, jury, and executioner. This should probably sit badly with an arbitrator background, but as I say, they do so far seem to be on the right side of the orthodoxy.
These renegades committed treachery against their domin. Their lips once praised the name of Kunrad Voigtveer, but it is your name they will whisper as they cross over to the other side.
Okay, so a death cult's watching my crew. Sacred executioners indeed.
The domin has discerned our essence. This is a great honor for the blood-spun web. We have woven the bays of this ship together with the threads of our faith for many years. We keep the greatest relic, his tarot, through which he sends us his blessed revelations. We obey the whispers of the Undying One. This is our service to him. This is our service to you.
Fascinating. Right, you recognise this feeling when you walk through the sacred slides you heard before. These eyes burn bright with sacrificial fervour. They serve the God Emperor with wholehearted faith and devotion. Right, tell me about yourself, Kibella. Are you the leader, the herald, or its servant?
I am the second spinner of the blood-spun web. The honor of this title is bestowed only upon those who have ushered more souls than...
Let's just say it's a very large
shameful
number.
to speak of one's own deeds. I'm here to become your shadow, not to make boasts.
And the Bloodspun Web, I'm guessing you just stab anybody who steps too far out of line for the Enforcers to deal with.
The tenets of the web teach us to read the threads of the future and understand the hearts of others. When a soul is filled with the poison of corruption, we know its time has come. We bring liberation. 3 strikes, 3 rebukes, 1 blade. This is how we serve the Undying One. This is how we serve you and your flagship.
Okay. Totally not stab happy. Yet.
But there are others. The virtuous martyrs who contravene his design without realizing it. Those who have come too close to faltering or committing an apostasy, but have not erred yet. We present such souls to the Undying One.
Ah, Okay, so if the tarot kicks up pre-crime, well, you pre-stab. Yeah, there is some logic to that, particularly when the Emperor's tarot does seem to work more often than not. But what are the tenets of the web?
Our laws and teachings, our philosophy and way of life, our art of combat and spiritual dogma. The tenets are the blood-spun web itself.
As long as they don't start ranting about skulls for the Golden Throne, I am reasonably okay with this.
Humanity owes its existence to the undying Emperor's sacrifice. It is he who protects us from a darkness of terrors. Hence, each of us has a duty to serve him, and a duty to die for him. To act otherwise is to waste the life that has been given to us by the Undying One, to become a thief. We help others understand this. We help them to live and die righteously.
Well, you seem to be on the right side of orthodoxy at the moment, so you have my blessing. And may you continue stabbing the right people. Make sure you keep stabbing the right people.
The blood-spun web will not forget your words, Domin. They are the wisdom of the tenets and the benediction of our duty.
This totally won't come back to haunt me. Right, so why have you brought some blood bags to the upper decks?
So you may offer the souls of these traitors as a gift to him. You have the authority to order their execution. Their blood will bind us together through him. For the God Emperor, the Undying One is death itself. The Undying One is duty itself.
I see.
Give the order, Domin. Let a spinner of the blood-spun web undergo the test of a sacred trial.
Very well, give weapons to the traitors, let Kibella prove herself.
A dagger that has not sliced through sinew is nothing more than a toy. Let the final dance begin.
Hey, nothing like a demonstration. Well, and the fact that they all decided to engage in combat pretty much serves as proof of their guilt, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah, we can... Actually, we'll start her there, because she's using a sword. Starts the battle. Now, what does she have? Death from above. Leaps into the air and lands on the select cell, dealing 9 damage to all adjacent enemies. Unoccupied cell within a 3-cell radius of line of sight. Can be used multiple times per turn, so I think in that case, Spinny!
As honor ordained is a blessing.
Yikes. Okay, she's not playing around. 3 melee attacks against random targets, 50% damage, does not count towards the attack limit, can only be used with a sword equipped, but if you double sword, well, you get 2 attacks with each sword. Ha! So is that... Oh, that's 4 attacks in total then, if I'm reading that correctly.
I shall not come. The other side awaits.
And this one, next single target melee attack splashes blood. Every enemy in the area, including the initial target, suffers the bloodstained effect. And okay, blood blessed or bloodstained. So blood blessed gains 2% bonus damage. Bloodstained suffers 2% more damage. Okay. So very good at buffing the party and generally causing mayhem. Blood fire creates a pool of blood which... Okay, fine. Require the sort of marks on the officer's deck. I see. Right, stab.
Lieutenant's death is a blessing.
Right. Ding ding, round 2. Maybe one of these guys will actually get to pull the trigger.
I will be your end.
Who am I? Oh, okay, fine. They're definitely Chaos Cultists. Fine, fine. Yep, these guys are definitely sanctioned. Right, let's see. We go for Raining Blood. And then... okay. Drop in there.
The shadows will see.
3 shanked. And we have blood all over the place as well. Wonderful. I just wander over.
Footprints of scarlet.
You do that.
As honor ordains.
Okay. And what does this one do? Blade Dance. Right, well that will finish him off. 9 damage to all adjacent enemies. Okay, yeah. We'll Blade Dance. He's dead. And then leap.
Trust me.
Huh. Okay, leap again.
As the tenants don't delay, brings me no pleasure.
Well, I'm convinced that we're going to need a lot of new carpets with her around. Has anyone got a mop? A cut to the heart, a cut to the throat, a cut to the stomach. These moves have been inflicted according to his pleasure. The blood will wash away the stain of the treachery. Have I... Will you accept with me? Sure. Oh yeah, you're hired. They were watching, killing and tracking Von Valancius. So they've been at this for decades, if not centuries. However, Jamris, you don't know that these people were necessarily innocent. We keep an eye on things. I'm sure they must have had good reason. Cultists are the scourge of the seditious. The enforcers respect them for their shared bloodstained. Okay, Sauerback likes them because they're doing some work that perhaps her enforcers can't be seen to. Folk are afraid of these people for good reason. Don't know what old Malak did to earn that privilege. What matters is that the web serves me faithfully. Right, they paid the price in blood, they became the blood of the flagship. I see, it seems that not all the officers have been presented to me yet. Indeed, Jocasta Sarbak, entrusted with the command of the enforcers and keeping order aboard this vessel. Confessor Adelbert, humble servant of the Emperor and served with the high honor of being the ship's confessor. He's the priest, and presumably the ecclesiarchy's watchdog as and when they feel the need to have one. Right. Confessor, tell me about this great sacrifice. The vessel was beset by famine and pestilence, wandered uncharted paths in the Immaterium, and servants of the archenemy got aboard. Of course they did. The exhausted crew was weak, but then the spinners emerged from the depths. Murder and mayhem followed. You will be my shadow, Cabela. Right. So it was ordained, and so his tarot spoke. I also come bearing an invitation for the vizier of the Bloodstained Web. He wishes you to know that the doors to the temple are open to me. Well, I might pay him a visit at some point. Right. Who is the vizier? He is the first among us for 5-fold longer than I have lived. How old are you? Because if you're in your 20s or 30s, that's not outrageous. And if you're in your 50s or 60s, and this is 40k, it's not a given that she isn't, then that would push him into the 300s, which is starting to get a little bit weird and wonderful. Right, where's your temple located? I am not permitted to say. If you wish to find the temple, you must walk the path of Saint Ariane. Hers was the thread that would become the Bloodstained Web. Ah, test of worthiness. Aye, we love those, don't we? Her path began deep within the flagship in the dark tunnels of the Freight Line. That's where yours must begin as well. Close to understanding. Very well. I will walk in the footsteps of the matriarch spider. Your journey will begin in the darkness of the deepest tunnels. The vizier awaits you. And your blade awaits session. Wonderful, thank you. So that's dealt with. And we've got Kibella, who I think can use a second sword. I have an upgrade, of course. Right, the ship has numerous compartments that I can visit. And of course, we have the elevator. Right, priority for the moment, however, has got to be clearing out the astropath station. And, you know, sorting out my shiny new toy. What is this? The Silent Verdict. Two-handed sword. Death cult weapon. And extremely brutal in close quarters. I'm tempted to give that to Abelard. It's because I'm going to do better with sword and shield, aren't I? On the other hand, if we do get close, well, yeah, I'll hang on to it for a moment. And I suppose I need to see about everyone else. Right, so Blade Dancer, 2 ranks available. Let's see. Be Smart, Bloody Mess, Contagious Luck and Jinx. Right, Dance of Blood. If both the ally and their target are on blood-covered cells, she gains 2+ agility bonus. What's her agility at the moment? Not sure. Open the veins, wound streaming blood. Each time it suffers damage. Crimson Tide. +1 stack of Blood Blessed or Bloodstained. Whenever it involves raining blood or whenever it starts on a blood turn. Right. Chain weapon attacks. What else she got? Oh, yes. Combat Master without question, because she's going to be piling right into the middle of things, isn't she? 15% bonus to parry. Okay, yeah, we'll go with Combat Master to start with. And then boost her... Let's see, weapon skill. Kick up to 45. Agility. Could kick that up to 60. Which would give her a serious advantage on initiative. So we'll take that. Right, what else we got? Right, Captive Audience. Next attack inflicts bleeding 9 on all targets hit. And toughness with a -20 penalty or be immobilized for 1 round. All enemies count as full cover. Huh, convenient. Blood Oath costs 8 wounds to use. Yikes. Blood Dancer's next attack cannot be dodged or parried. Gains +13 wounds if they make a kill. Right. Veil of Blades. Dodge area attacks without moving or immune to all types of forced movement. Parry, 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 parry. Acrobatic artistry. And if they use death from above... Oh, wow, so you can chain death from above, then finish with acrobatic artistry and get a double dip. I think I want that. Medicae. Okay, she's... Characteristic bonus. Origin enhancement. Okay. I think getting her Medicae is going to be a fairly good idea. So that's her sorted. Soldier advancement. Let's quickly run through everybody else. So for my part, another boost to ballistics. Actually, a boost to agility. And Concentrate fire dash. Controlled shot. So if I have to fire into melee, that's an option. Double slug, 2 single shots. Grisly adjudication, 10%, 15 levels of bleeding on target hit. Yeah, that sounds like it could be fun. Especially against multiple targets that are in a position to bleed. Nothing else really kicks in. Unless you go for concentrated fire and use that to get essentially double damage with a reduction, but bypass the armor and inflicting bleeding. Suffers damage at the start of each turn. That looks like a fall over and die option, doesn't it? Yoink. Abby, what do you got? Taunt. Forceful strike. Reckless strike. He's got endure. Every enemy who survives the attack will attack the warrior in turn, including creatures with ranged weapons. That could be awkward. Mark target. Or breakthrough. Cannot be used in the same round as charge. Okay, let's go with the taunt option. And Karos, coercion, demo, Medicae. A bit more athletics wouldn't hurt. Idira, kind of want you pushing las weapons. Continuous analysis. Large number of exploits. Optimus perception versus 10 or higher. So basically we'd have to get her perception up to, I think it's 100 to gain full advantage from that, or any advantage really. Sniper expertise features prerequisites, requires perfect spot. Okay, where is perfect spot? Psychic barrage. 6 L's, okay, +3 damage when at range. That might be worth it actually. Or is this to test the target? Thriving in peril. Every perils of the warp is meant by control. I don't want perils of the warp. Non-damaging psychic attacks do not provoke attacks of opportunity, but this allows us to use damaging ones point blank. That might be worth going for. Unless I can pick up perfect spot from somewhere. Doesn't seem to be coming up at the moment, however, which is a bit annoying. Las weapon expert, minus 20% chance to dodge. Well, it does sort of work out for her. But, no, let's go with subtle manipulation, just in case she does somehow end up in melee and needs to pop somebody's brain to get away. Right, so int or perception. Cassia's running 55 perception. Let's push her ballistic skill since she's mostly shooting people. Yoink. Argenta. What have you got? Ballistic skill, agility. Again, push agility. Because that ties into their initiative chance. So agility and perception count together. Well, we'll take the agility. Controlled shot dash rapid fire. Okay, rapid fire. She does use bursts, but tempted to say, yeah, let's go with concentrated fire instead, because rapid fire, okay, doubles your rate of fire, but that doubles your ammunition consumption, and then you hurt your damage. So 200% times by 200, so you basically get a 50% damage boost, and also all the shots are random. Concentrated fire is just flat 90%. Standard ammo consumption and dodge reduction on top. So I think Concentrate Fire beats that out for the moment. And we have the Lady Cassia. So she runs on Fellowship and Willpower. Inclined to say Willpower is probably where I want to go with her. Yeah, and the Navigators are leaning into her Willpower side as well. So we'll boost up on that. Right, Blood Augury of Guide of Souls. Where is the option? Because she has... Veil Degradation is reduced by 1. Because she kind of counterbalances Adira by virtue of being able to enforce the veil rather than letting it slowly degrade. Stable Roots is sort of worth it. Don't think anything else really kicks in for her unless there's an ability I can use. Nope, deal with that. Right, officer abilities. Personal oversight, allies resolve is increased. Range of the officer's voice is increased by +3. That's... yeah, that will do. Boost her range. Give her more options in that regard. Stable Roots is locked in. And let's shove her willpower up again. Alright, completed on that front. Right then, also, ooh, that's the point. What's Cassia's gear? She only has an auto pistol. Fine, we are dumping that, and we are getting you a decent las gun. With Toby pattern times 2, 6 to 8, standard pattern 5 to 7. Abelard's holding the custom job at the moment, I think. So you can have a... actually, Abelard, 6 to 8, 5%. 6 to 8. Okay, yeah. Abelard, hand over the good one. You get a Ritobi, and the Lady Cassia, who has no business being in melee, really gets the enhanced lasgun. Every little helps. Also, oh yes, I promised you a second sword, didn't I? Yoink. There we go. And just as a backup plan, have a shotgun. Because let's face it, we're not really going to be investing in ballistic skill for you, are we, Kibella? That's more of an emergency backup plan than anything. I might get her a flamethrower at some point. Right, in the meantime, back to the Rykad map. And let's have another crack at the astropaths. So, the astropathic station is dead ahead of the void ship. It is motionless, silence on all vox frequencies. Death is lurking in the shadows. All this makes reading the report to the astropaths, who claim they can hear something coming from the station, all the more disturbing. Right, let's try the vox. Not responding. Okay, deploy a scouting team. What they saw was quite monstrous. Smudged across time, the warp manifests itself here, twisting the very nature of existence. At this point, blowing up the station is probably the smart thing to do. The main hall is covered in a crust of ice. A green road blind man. Ah, that will be the chief astropath, mostly. Right, Zachary, figure out what's going on here. Okay, Choirmaster Vice boarded the station in person, proceeded to the Choir's Hall. Telepathic conversation with him. What did we find? The late Choirmaster's amulet taken from his frozen body after his death. Psychic shriek has been silenced, and it was masking a different sound, even more terrifying and surreal. The melody of a cataclysm. Ah, right. So the mad Choirmaster was jamming the Cicatrix Maledictum. Do we explore it? Yes, I think we'd better. A brief and chilling chronicle was found in the scribe's records. Warped instruments of massive proportions wiped out half. Well, that will have been the Cicatrix opening and Cadia falling. Those who lasted louder. Yeah, burn everything. Void torpedoes shatter the station. One can only hope that they have perished along with their home. Indeed so. Sometimes the Emperor's mercy is a little on the boomy side. Alright, Rykad Minoris, the Penal Station, Rykadiphilia, and Rykad Majoris await. So... well, there's also this void ship. Alright, let's go have a chat with them first. Is Pandemonium outside the bridge gate? One of the officers is demanding an audience. I think I hear Abelard's voice. Oh, thank you, Vigdis. Alright, what's going on? Abelard, Idira, and one rather presumptuous junior officer. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a highborn brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. I see. Very well, not least because you already disturbed him. What's going on here? Matter of extreme importance. I see. You may speak, but I want to hear a report, not a shouting match. Having two officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. Drastic times. Go on. Okay, she's worked up about something. Any moment now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks in order to construct a workers' strike. I see. Would this senior officer be Abelard by any chance? And Sabak is... Right, what's going on here and why am I in the dark? Investigate this. Right, I see. How did all this start? The condenser. It all began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. It went up the chain, went arranged for clothes. Right, okay, that's the right thing to do. But the search brought tensions between the enforcers and the workers to a head. Okay, and there's an insurrection in the making aboard my ship and no one informed me. I would not deem it a problem worthy of the rogue traders' attention. The lower decks are in revolt. 30-some years ago, we even had a... you once had a communist revolution. Took a month to restore order, and 8 years later they were still battling rumors that he'd survived his execution. As for the current situation, we have sufficient force to deal with it. Yes, but you're going to keep dealing with it and dealing with it and dealing with it unless we nip it off at the source. Until eventually, of course, one day you won't have sufficient enforcers. But on this ship, the word of the Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo from 100 bolters. She has a point. Okay. May sending a hit squad to crush one as means of ignoring the problem. She is actually right about that. It gets rid of the problem temporarily, but without dealing with the underlying causes, it just comes back. Where does Abelard come into all this? Go on, make it good. Time is running out. Right, so the established orders the way things are done on the ship, and one of the pillars of that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. A lower deck revolt is not a trivial matter, Abelard. I see. So you found out about the cultists because the report of the amulet went up the chain, and you have dropped the heavy end of the hammer because Theodora was murdered on your watch. You were far too heavy-handed. Arrests, interrogation, mass punishments, driving people to the brink. 3 worker clans are involved. Right, what is Depot 4? One of the poorest sectors of the lowest decks, the general labourers. They're not as valuable as... Okay, so basically they're the grunt labour. And as a result, they're easy infiltration targets and easy to spread discontent. Depot 4 is poor in trouble. At worst, all that means is drunken fights in the rock cut until a cultist amulet turned up, yeah? And the problem is not limited to the sector, it's located in one of the most populated lower decks, and there is a knock-on effect. Master at Arms, the ship's enforcers report to you. You seem hesitant to provide your own perspective. Unlike Lieutenant Vent, I respect the chain of command. I must note this insubordination is a direct consequence of practices he himself has introduced. Yeah, she has a point there. You have decided to follow the Lieutenant's example after all. Right, it appears I have unearthed an old squabble. Right. Abelard, do you wish to respond? Can you recover an occasion when a commission officer disobey their superior? Overall, their orders should favour him. None, for there have been no such cases. Nevertheless, a simple show of attention on your part is enough to erode the propriety of junior officers. Right, I see. Enforcers are meant to be... Sarback, explain yourself. The Seneschal has a tendency to show partiality. Right, so he's taking protégés. Well, someone's got to train up replacements. Accidents happen. The Seneschal, and it's working. Today an enforcer goes to the Seneschal to report an order from Master Arms they disagree with. Tomorrow they go to the Lord Captain to reject the Seneschal's order. Lieutenant, would you say the Seneschal has signalled you out? Never once granted privilege, never once advocated, never once facilitated ambitions. In other words, he is not being explicitly partial, but he has protégés. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Yes. By the throne, every third person standing on this bridge now was my student at some point. I see. Right. Evidently, my officers are anything but. I've only myself. This is true. The lieutenant stepping out of line does reflect on you as well. Abelard, what do you have to say to all this? I see no need to add anything. Right. I see. I'm certain the Seneschal was acting within his authority, but I will verify this myself. Enterprise bordering on the sophomoric. Okay, I am fine with that. Right. Jocasta, this had clearly been brewing for some time. It was going to bubble over beyond your enforcer's ability to handle. Don't worry about it. So, to the lower decks. And, yep, we'll take... yeah, we'll take the whole party. Bring the gang. Why not? Okay. Oop. Hi. Well, the Sarian's not too popular, is he? Yeah, we cannot place all the locals. Let's keep moving. We need to get to the bottom of this. Right. Something having a nest made out of thermal insulation material. Okay, so improvised bedding. Lower decks rabble.
None shall stand in my way.
What's going on over here?
I still do not see our purpose in coming here.
Huge pipes, the arteries of the ship.
Relax, old man. Going for a stroll on the lower decks every once in a while is good for you. Lets you see how the simple folk live.
Exactly, Adira. And frequently die. Emperor says even this is depressing. Wow. Alright. What else is of interest? Valves presumably controlling the venting here. Okay, let's get a move on. Yoink. Anything else? Door. Right, okay. Lower deck rabble.
Challenge for me.
Some goods. What have they got? Servo skulls and high-octane promethium. Yes, I am stealing from my own employees. Question mark. Possibly quote marks. Let's keep looking around. Greetings, indeed. Right. Looks like Jocasta's down here as well. Right, Lieutenant Vent. Ah, I see. Jocasta, did you try to undercut me? Cannot comply with this order. This is my deck and my sector. No, it. Good for her. So, not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Yes. Your lordship. Right, what's the situation? They have locked down the bay where the strikers are. We have the situation under control as far as resources allow. Sabak, the rabble is on the verge of mutiny. This simply calls for immediate repressions and firing squads. Right, I see. I want to speak to the strikers. Yes, Abelard, I know you don't agree with this, but your approach is how we got here in the first place. Right, you are, Lord Captain. And I'm not hugely happy with Jocasta right now, because if we had this conversation on the bridge, then presumably she sprinted straight down here to try and organise a purge before I could arrive.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Right, let's go have this conversation. Right. Simple clothing, crude weapons, varying levels of mutation. Right, who are we dealing with? Lord Captain, what is troubling you? Why are you striking? Striking, that's news to us. Okay, so Rivet is wavering. Shut up, Rivet. Okay, old Nan's in charge. They say they're looking for cultists, but they're cracking. I see. And Argentus has a care for children. Not like that. That's the only enforcer officer. Okay, we're no villains, we're honest workers. I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet. The gewgaw they found on the dead rocket. Yeah, that gewgaw. If it's something evil or forbidden, they sure didn't know. We know our own people, there have been no new faces around. That's an issue, because... definitely not. If there were, we'd be the first to report. So they didn't know what they were dealing with. They took it off a dead body. When the fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies, the boots they came back with. Right. So the cultists proper died somewhere else, got looted, and that's how the amulet found its merry way onto this deck. Those boots really were fine. I see. Live children, weren't you talked from an early age about it? Argenta has a point here. We were told, but it was long ago. It's just I've had my further... So that will be at least half a century. I need to have a word with the confessor, don't I? That is regrettable. You cannot lay the burden of being right son and souls of Holy Fathers. Yeah. At the same time, Argent, if they don't know what to look for, that's going to open them up. Ignorance is not a defense against the arch enemy, despite what the Emperor used to think. Right, Abelard, anything to add? I authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos Worshippers hiding in the sectors. Specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me. Cultists and no drunken stevedores. He has a point there. Sabak, was it really necessary to drop the heating in here? Rabble only understands one language. Well, yes. That's, if that's the only language you've been speaking to, then that will be the only language they understand. Right, what changes do you want? Yes, we want to rein in the enforcers, quit turning off the heat and stop battering everything that moves. We want the enforcers gone from here and we want to be armed. Okay, I have no problem with reining in the enforcers and turning the heat back on. You are not getting guns. Alright. We need them for well, somebody's shooting their neighbour out of stupidity or reckless. That's one good reason not to arm them, yes. Any more of these damn yellets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. And if you don't, well, the Bloodstained Web is active, and I can always turn them loose. Right. Okay. Right, spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step towards embracing chaos, putting weapons in untrained hands would be even worse. Yes. Withdraw those demands, we'll consider the rest. Okay. Back down, now's no time for you to be stubborn. The three clans ought to act as one. You two are ganging up on me, fair enough. Right. Then it's decided. The persecution will stop. Thoughts, Abelard? The story doesn't convince him. These people were moments away from rebelling. Under duress, Abelard. Right. Master at Arms. Give the rabble grots, they'll take an angry world. Yeah, giving weapons, I agree. The persecution will stop, and I expect you to turn in any remaining amulets or weapons left by the cultists. Right, you have not abandoned us lower deckers. You came yourself and settled everything on. Tell my grandchildren about this. Assuming you live long enough to have any, Rivet. Any nasty business? I hope you will. Right, this is complete bedlam. Yes, let's. I think we're done here.
Follow my lead.
Right. Oh, and not through the toasty section. That would be bad. And the lift back to the upper decks is over here. Abelard wants to talk. Urgent matter to discuss. I see. You're not letting this go, are you? Well, are you pleased? You kowtowed to the loyal rebel, you believe their lies. Next time we should attack with cultists. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. We'll see. Right. Let's talk about your role in all this instead. You allowed this revolt. Yes. Why are you so angry? I solved the problem. Why did you have to be the one to do it? Because I am the Lord Captain. Yes. Maybe if Theodora had spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have been dead. Quite. Indeed. I lost my temper. Prosperity of the Von Valance is not just an empty phrase. I've left the Navy. I see. And suddenly everything began to quake. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. Okay, procedure to try to establish longer function smoothly for seconds. Except they didn't, did they? You had it, Voitvia working to undermine you. Right. Theodora trusted in established procedure and she died. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Accept it and start living in the new world. Right. Yoink. Yes, Lord Captain. Ah, well, I think he's defused. Now let's just leave the lower decks far more suitable places for a Rogue Trader. Right, so the astropaths are dealt with, Depot 4 has been calmed down, and if I do have a incipient cult uprising on Depot 4, well, next time it will be shotguns, flames at dawn. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're going to leave things for tonight. Still have to find a tech priest, the interrogator, and deal with new crew as well. So many things to do, so little time. Until next time,